Now I'm going to be working on the next section, which is going to be a section for displaying three cards. Each single card will display a new product in our website. So here I'm going to create a new section called new. And then I'm going to here say section. And then for this section, first I'm going to give it, as usual, I'm going to give it an ID. I'm going to say ID. And the ID is going to be new. And I'm going to also give it a class. And that class is going to be width 100. And inside that section, first I'm going to divide that section. I'm going to use the raw to divide that section into 3 columns. So I'm going to say div, and then I'm going to give this div a class, the raw class, to divide the page into a row that consists of 3 columns. And I'm going to remove the padding and the margins. So I'm going to say P0 and M0. P0 means that I don't want any padding, and M0 means that I don't want any margins. And these are bootstrap. All of these are bootstrap classes. Next, I'm going to display the first column. So for the first column, I'm going to say dev class, and I'm going to give it first a class called 1, which is my class, and then I'm going to give it bootstrap classes. First, column LG4, and column medium 12, and column small 12, which means that for large screens, 3 columns will be displayed per row. For medium screens, only 1 column will be displayed per row. For small screens, only 1 column will be displayed per row. Finally, I'm going to remove the padding. I'm going to say here P0. And then inside that div, I'm going to display an image. I'm going to say image, and then I'm going to say source, and then I'm going to give this, I'm going to first give this image a class, a bootstrap class called image fluid, which is going to make the image responsive. And for the source, I'm going to say assets, images, /1.jpg. And I'm going to get that image later. Below the image, I'm going to display a section, and I'm going to give it a class called details. And for this details, I'm going to display 2 things. I'm going to display a text that's going to be displayed in H2 in title 2. Here, let's say extremely awesome shoes. And then below, I'm going to display a button. And for the button, I'm just going to say shop now. And I'm going to give it a bootstrap class called text upper case. Let me save and let me head on over to the browser and refresh. And as you can see, we have 1 column. Let's display 2 columns here in the middle and on the right side. So to do that, we need to copy this part. Let me here say 1, and this is the end of 1. So here I'm going to say 2, and then I'm going to say here 3. And I'm going to copy this and paste it here and paste it here. So for 2, let's display a different text. I'm going to say here awesome anything you want to display. Here I'm going to say 50% off. And for the images, I'm going to say 2, and I'm going to say here 3. So we have 1, 2, 3. And let me add the images. So I have here 3 images. I'm going to drag these images and drop them onto the images folder. So we have 1, 2, and 3. So these are the images. And let me now head on over to the browser and test. So now in the browser, as you can see, we have 1, 2, and 3. But the problem is with the images, they don't have the same sizes. Let me work on this. So first of all, this image is too small. We need to replace this with a bigger image. So I have another image. Let me add this image and test with this image. Let me test this image, and I think this image is bigger. As you can see, it's bigger. However, we still need to work on the size because some images might be greater than others. Therefore, we need to work on the design of these images. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to head on over to CSS, and I'm going to work on the design of these images. First of all, I'm going to work on the new section. Remember, we have here this new section. In the HTML, we have this new ID. So in the CSS, in the style.css, I'm going to add here the new. I'm going to say new, and then for this new, I'm going to say dot 1, and then image. And remember, this 1 is for this and this and this. So the image is going to be, this image refers to all images that are inside this inside one class. So for the image, we need to change the width and height. I'm going to say width, the width 100%, and the height 100%. Now the images should have the same size. So the images should have the same size, and I think they look great now. The next thing that I'm going to work on is that I'm going to add some background position. I'm going to change the background position. So the background position is going to be center because I want to center the images. I'm going to say background position center, and the background repeat is none. Background repeat none, no repeat, and the background size cover. Now let me refresh, and as you can see, it's gonna look great. Next, we need to work on the position of this one, of the complete div. So for the complete div, I'm gonna say here new.1, and I'm gonna give it a position relative, and I'm gonna display these the button and the text inside or above the image. To do this, we have to change the details section position. Remember, the details, this details is below the image, and in order to display the details above the image, we need to give the details here. We need to say new, and then .1, and then details. We need to change the position. So I'm going to change the position to absolute, and the top is going to be 0, and the left is also going to be 0. Whereas the color, I'm going to change the color. The color is going to be barely wood, and the font weight, I'm going to change the font weight to be bold, and transition 0.4 ease, and I'm going to give it also opacity of 0.8, and background color. background color. So the background color is going to be a black color. I'm going to say RGB 111, and that's it. Let me save. Let me show you what's going to happen now. Now what happens is that the text and the button will be displayed above the image, and they will be displayed inside this section, but we want this section to be extended and to take the complete size as the image. And to do this, we need to increase the width and height. Therefore, I'm going to say here width 100%, and the height is also 100%. So this means that this black area will take the complete, will take the same exact size, and will take the same exact height and width as the image. Now let me refresh, and as you can see, it's going to look like this. But let's decrease the opacity a little. I'm going to say opacity 0.7. So this is the opacity. Opacity is a little. You can decrease the opacity even to 0.5. So as you can see, you can decrease and increase the opacity. And also we need to move the text and the button to be displayed in the middle. So in order to do that, we have to change the, let me here show you what I'm going to do. We have to change the details, we have to change the one class, this one class, because this one class contains the button and the text. Therefore, what I'm going to do here is that for this, I'm going to say new, and then 1, and then nth child 1 dot details. What does this mean? This means that I'm accessing the first child of the one, which is this child, which is the details. So I'm basically accessing the details of the first child. So in other words, I'm accessing this. I'm accessing the first details. So for the first details class, which is this text, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to change the display. The display is going to be flex. Display flex, and the justify content is going to be center. This is going to center the text, and the flex direction. The flex direction is going to be column, whereas the align items is going to be start. Align items is going to be flex start. Flex start. And finally, the text align is going to be start. Now, if I save and refresh, the text will be displayed on the left side, in the middle, vertically. In the middle, in terms of the vertically, it's going to be in the middle, but horizontally, it's going to be on the left. As you can see, it's going to be vertically. It's going to be in the middle, because I said here center, the justify content center, and the aligned items is flex start, and the text align is start, which means that it's going to be displayed on the left side. And if this is not clear, you can increase the opacity. Here the opacity could be 0.8. Now if I say 0.8, it's going to be darker and the text will be displayed better.